Ricola. My hair's a mess. I hope you guys can forgive me. I need a haircut. I've said that 1,000 times. Okay. We're live. This is a can of water, I promise. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Tyler Edmonson? How you doing, sir? Hope all is well. Cole, how are you? So, hopefully, we have another good show or live stream like last time. What's up, big man Ross? Steven Rogers, Gregory. How you doing, Greg? How's it going, man? Frederick. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Well, I say a lot. I'm going to try and I never really like to live stream more than about 25, 30 minutes, so it won't be too long. I've got to watch Captain America with my wife. She hasn't watched them all yet. Yeah, the Woo Picnic. That's right. A lot to talk about. Not really. I keep saying that, but it's because I'm so excited about the possibilities this weekend. What's up, Blake? How you doing, man? Chris? Patrick Champion. What a last name. Patrick Champion. Champion on the tackle. 5-yard loss. I can already hear it. I bet you played sports with a name like that. Chris Johnson. You're the man. I like that. Was that a car as your avatar? So hopefully, again, we have a good stream. We're going to give it a couple minutes to kind of fill up. How's y'all's weeks, man? Week, was it good? Did you have a good week? I'm wearing the pink flamingo shirt. I'm busy. Yeah, I hear you. Holy cow! My wife is on me for not taking the kids out of the house more often. So I took them to the Amazium yesterday. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but in Rogers they have the Amazium, which is really cool. I think it's sponsored by like Walmart and the Scott family. So I got to take them there and went to the park in Springdale and went to my kids. My oldest daughter had like open house at her school in Springdale, so we got to do that. Enjoy watching your videos. Hey, thanks, Jonty. I'm sorry, I don't want to mess up your name there, Jonty Johanna. We'll just call you John. I'm sorry. Always a winner, says Patrick Champion. So, all right, well, thank you guys so much for stopping by and checking out the video. You guys know what to do. At the end of the video, like, comment, share the content, and all that. Tap the subscribe button if you haven't already. Check out all the links down below in the description box. So, and I know I've talked about it, and I'm going to continue to push it because I really like what we're doing. But Jacob Scott Davis, who now is with Rivals, has thanks NMD TV with a dono. Bro, I wasn't even here for the donations. Very nice. Thanks, man. Hope all is well. Enjoy the content. But we've been killing it over on the Hog Talk podcast. If you guys haven't checked that out, you need to. We try to go live. We get one show a week. Starting week 1 for Razorback football, we're going to be going live twice a week. Or not live. We're going to record twice a week. We've had Otis Kirk on, Ben Cleveland from the Springdale 5. We had Chandler Morris on. We had the last show, we had Drew Morgan. If you guys haven't watched that podcast, that guy is a ball of energy. He is just, he talked about Chad Morris. I don't remember if we caught that recording or before the recording, but he talked about Chad Morris being like chugging Red Bulls. And all I can think is like Morgan strikes me as someone who does the same. He's very energetic, man. He definitely, and I said it when we were recording. I said, man, you're a ball of energy and you play with a chip on your shoulder. It's something I always liked about Drew Morgan. You got it right. Islander name. Oh, okay, cool. That's a cool name, Jaunty. I like that name. Crystal Bridges is legit place. Yeah, I agree. Tyler with the dono. Bro, I'm not here for that, but thank you guys. I'm just here to give you guys updates. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been to Crystal Bridges once. Really cool place. I cannot believe like the amount of stuff you can check out for free at Crystal Bridges. Something I thought about doing here on the channel because it is Pig Trail Network. I do want to concentrate on Razorback sports. Obviously, football is my primary thing that I cover here on the channel. I have thought about doing what like going around and capturing parts of Northwest Arkansas and putting them together in videos here. And I've thought about doing that. I was like trying to somehow relate the area to maybe sports or something. I come up with about 15 ideas a week, and I need to start writing them down on paper. So again, don't forget to share the URL up top. You can copy and paste it to social media somewhere. Let people know where you're at. I'd really appreciate that. Go for it, Ty. That would be cool. Yeah, I've thought about doing that. Maybe catching some games. I hit up some of the schools last year after the season, and I talked to Fayetteville High and Springdale High and Bentonville, and I've been kind of chatting back and forth with them about capturing and recording some of their games from the sidelines. And so we're going to see where that goes. May not go anywhere, but we'll see. What about the quarterback deal? What do you mean, what about the quarterback deal? You're going to have to fill me in. Is something happened that I don't know about? What happened? Did they get another transfer? The transfer number 3? What do you know that I don't? Northwest Arkansas life is hog life. Man, ain't that the truth, Chris? Hell, Arkansans everywhere know that the great outdoors is part of what makes Arkansas so special. I couldn't agree more. I'm not super outdoorsy myself. I'll be real with you. I am a typical Fayetteville city boy, no doubt about it. But I do like, I can remember as a kid going out to Devil's Den. Man, that's gorgeous out there, just exploring the Ozarks. All right, well, we're 6.5 minutes in. Let's get into this. So I know a lot of you are going to ask. The first thing you're going to ask is about the Memphis Three. I'm talking about who do you think will start. Oh, I'll get to that in a second. I mean, we've talked about that a lot here, but I can go into that a little bit more for you, Cole. Don't mind at all. The Memphis Three, you've got Martavius French, then you have his teammates, Eason and McDonald. Now, we got to lift the fog up a little bit. Eason was apparently McDonald's ride. McDonald is a commit to Mississippi State. They're all 3 teammates. All 3 play together. They know each other. Obviously, they've played together for a little while. Arkansas hasn't offered McDonald yet. Now there's some. I'm not going to go into some. I think there's something going on off the field. I really don't know. They were all 3 on campus, and Arkansas had the opportunity to offer all 3 of them. I can't remember when that was, but they didn't do it. They didn't offer McDonald. They did offer Eason and French. So what I'd been told halfway through the week, and this was just all over the place, that Eason was not going to come. Eason was not going to make it to the cookout, but French might. Well, then I started hearing about, all 3 of them now could be coming. As I said, there's a lot of fog around this. None of them are showing up. None of the 3 Memphis kids are going to make it. So I know, talking with some of you, I was talking in my Twitter DMs. We were talking back and forth a little bit about that. I don't think it's I don't think it's as bad as it looks. Arkansas is going, if they want Eason, it sounds like to me they're going to have to offer McDonald and hope that you can flip him from Mississippi State to Arkansas. That, I think, is their only shot at getting Eason. I've had 5 different people tell me this. So I think there's some legitimacy to it. Again, I don't know why they haven't offered McDonald. I don't know if there's something that off the field or if there's something on film they don't like about him, if there's a relationship with the coaching staff. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But he's good enough that he has Mississippi State offers, and Mississippi State, I don't think, was ever really in on the 1-for-3 deal. I don't think they were ever in on that, where if you get McDonald, then you get Eason and French. Only as far as I know, Arkansas, I think Tennessee, and a couple of other SEC schools were in on the package deal. If they can get 1, there's a possibility of maybe getting 3. If they don't offer McDonald, I do not like their odds of getting Eason. And I'm going to tell you something. Eason, in my opinion, is a must-get. Eason is a must-get for so many different reasons, not just because of the lack of depth, but he helps. Well, I guess when you talk about depth, he helps with preventing having the secondary change where you have these guys come in. Who was that years ago? Like Jericho Nelson, Jerry Franklin, Dre Greenlaw, these guys who played mostly safety in high school. You have to try and convert them into linebackers to play that outside spot. With a guy like Eason, you're not going to have to do that. He's a little bit faster. And I think they actually like him inside, but he can play a little bit outside. But I think he's mostly an inside guy. But he's going to help kind of alleviate some of the problems that you have with the linebacker core. Obviously, it's numbers and it's depth, and you still got Catrell Wallace out there. We'll get to him in just a second. And then they had another linebacker commit just a few days ago in the middle of the night. And then his teammate committed the following morning. That was strange how that all worked out. But so I don't think you get any. You keep French. French, I'm not worried about. He's all hog. If you guys are worried about French, don't be. There's no reason to worry about French at all. I think he's 100% hog. As of today, July 26th. I keep forgetting today's the 26th. As of today, July 26th, 2019, I think he's all hog. We know that could change. We got a long ways to go until February, until signing day. So the Razorbacks are looking good for French, but with Eason, I just don't like their odds unless they go after McDonald. That's where you're at with the Memphis Three. I don't know if the other question is how many linebackers do they end up taking? Do they end up taking, the number we've all been told? I think most people thought, and we've talked to other people in the media too, Jacob and I, and what I got was it looked like 3, and it looks now like they might actually take 4, maybe more. That number could increase. So if and then the other question is if they do take Cottrell Wallace's commit, which is there's rumors that there's already a soft commit out there. I don't know how true that is. If they take Cottrell Wallace and they take another linebacker, because there's someone else out there, you've got 2 other linebackers. If they take both those guys, do they make room for Eason? Assuming you get McDonald. A lot of moving parts here, you see. I don't know. You got to make room for a player like Eason. Eason is next. Like Eason is the kind of guy who will come in next year and play, hands down, alongside French. I think French is going to come in next year and play, maybe even start. I think on paper, Bumper Pool was highly recruited, but on paper, I can't remember the last linebacker that was this highly touted. Otha Peters years ago, if you guys remember him. Although that we saw how that worked out, but yeah, there's a lot of questions with the linebacker spot, and there's a lot of things that they need to do a lot of work at that position. There's not a doubt at all. So, but again, I want to thank you guys for Tyler and I don't want you guys to think I'm downplaying your donations. I really do appreciate that. Holy cow, I was not expecting that at all. Tyler Edmonson and NMD TV, shout out to you. Did an interview a little while back. Great content, guys. If you're curious about checking out some more fan-made content here on YouTube, go check out NMD TV. Does some good stuff. So that's what's going on at the linebacker position. There's I don't know what happens if McDonald and French and Eason, if they were all here, I'd feel really good. But we've got a long ways to go. Let's see. Just get bowl eligible. Tired of losing. Oh, okay. Hi, Fish. How you doing? Dre Greenlaw did do good as a linebacker. He did. Just injuries. Yeah, no, I'm not hating on Dre Greenlaw at all. Just at Fayetteville, he was primarily a safety, and obviously the right move was putting him at linebacker, but you wonder how much better would he have been at safety. I think he's absolutely fast enough at the SEC level to play the position, because that was a lot of people felt like that was his natural position. Had Arkansas developed him at safety, you wonder how much better he could have been there. But that all speaks to what Arkansas always has to do, going back to Jericho Nelson and Jerry Franklin and going even further back. I think Tony Bua was actually recruited as a safety. And I know there's someone else I'm forgetting, but this happens at Arkansas a lot, whereas you look at around the SEC, like LSU, Alabama, obviously Auburn, you go over to the East, you look at Florida, Georgia, so on and so forth. They recruit linebackers out of the high school level. They don't have to convert them to play another position. They've played that position for at least 2 or 3 years, and that speeds up the development process. There's no having to relearn. I'm going to tell you something. I know some of you probably played high school football. There is a difference. I didn't play. I was too fat and slow to play linebacker in the secondary, but there's a difference between a linebacker and a safety. Those are completely 2 different positions, obviously. So having to convert someone and teach them to play that at the Power 5 SEC West level, you gotta think that probably tacks on a little bit of waiting time during their progression, like how much, So that's what you get if you can fill up your depth. If you fill it up with quality depth and you fill it up with guys that know the position, and there's no trying to develop them into a new position. I've been pretty skeptical of their linebacker position now for like the last 2 seasons. The offensive line of scrimmage, we could talk about that all day long. I think we all agree that the line of scrimmage is a problem. But the linebacker position, it just – on the defensive side of the ball, that's been an area that Arkansas has never they just haven't done a very good job. Now, Macho Spate, we could talk about him, who just retired like a month ago from the Redskins. Macho Spate was pretty well highly recruited out of JUCO, and he obviously his first year was lost, but then year 2 he came in and he was pretty good. There's a safety of the Petrino era that they tried to turn into a linebacker, and his name has left my mind. But yeah, the linebacker position, I get what they had to do last year in that 2019 class and bringing in talent around the line of scrimmage, build from the inside out. I love that. All about it. Okay, all about it. But now you have to answer the question where they've been thin at now for like 2 years, and I feel like they're trying to pick up the pieces. But if you at least get French, and then all those other names that are out there outside of Eason, you're still in pretty good shape. I think they're in good shape as long as you're talking about just filling in depth, right? So I could go on and on. Let's see. Is it true Dalton Hyatt moved to wide receiver? Everything I've been told is yes, he's been moved to wide out. Doesn't surprise me. He's not a quarterback in Power 5 football. He's not. I've been saying that for 2 years. I've had people coming through my comments section. Keep an eye on Dalton Hyatt. No. He is a wide receiver or a clipboard sideline guy. Not any disrespect towards him. Seems like a smart kid, good head on his shoulders. I wish him the best, but he's just not an SEC level quarterback, so it didn't really surprise me. I believe he's going to get playing time. Let's see. Well, I'm way behind here. I'm sorry. Cole says, will we be able to? I don't know who's we for. Oh, Arkansas. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about a specific player. I don't know. Yeah, so Cole says, will we be able to compete for these big time SEC teams this year with these new commits down the road? Time will tell. Fishman says, regardless of what just happened. Okay, John L. Smith reference. Just smile. No, John L. Smith. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? Okay, so that's been asked twice. I'll go ahead and answer it. Ben Hicks I think gets to start out the gate. What happens after that? Nick Starkel. I think Nick Starkel ends up taking it. Will Connor Nolan be developed this year? Connor Nolan has been he's left football behind. Connor Nolan is going to focus full time on pitching for the Razorbacks, and will be an exciting pitcher by the time he leaves Arkansas. I think he seems to be progressing towards being a really solid pitcher. For Arkansas, defensive tackle Bajon Jackson signed with Carolina Panthers this week. Oh, okay, cool. I see what you're saying. Former. Connor Nolan went to baseball, and then Cole Smith says, oh, okay. He gets it now. He's informed. And then Gregory, the kid who committed to North Carolina, is he a better quarterback than Jefferson in your opinion? Ooh, Gregory with a nice question. That's hard. That's so hard to tell because, he went, and you're talking about Jacoby Criswell. He went to the Elite 11 and did really well. The Elite 11 it's really hard to gauge how good a player is based on what they do at these camps and how well they perform at the Spark events and these Elite 11s and 7-on-7s. You've seen time and time again, kids go to these camps, ball out, then they get on the field and, sputter and transfer around, and then you never hear about him again. Jacoby Criswell is good, though. I like Jacoby Criswell. Is he better than is he better than KJ Jefferson? That's only time will tell. On paper, I like KJ more. KJ, and again, you're comparing film. KJ played in another state at a different level of high school football than Criswell. I'm always skeptical of quarterbacks out of the state of Arkansas outside of Tyler Wilson and then Brandon Allen, who had a phenomenal final year at Arkansas. I'm always a little skeptical of quarterbacks that come out of the state. You remember Ty Story? Where was he out of? It was a small school, but he was a 4-star on Rivals in 24/7 Sports. I think on one of those two, he was considered a pretty highly touted quarterback. Didn't pan out too much. I mean, there's been multiple quarterbacks. You got that kid out of Fayetteville. We've had multiple kids out of Fayetteville that just haven't done very well at the next level. And then Little Rock and Central Arkansas. And I just have a hard time with, and that's nothing against them. Again, Brandon Allen, the Allen brothers, I think got a raw deal. I don't want to start that debate, but oh Lord, that'll be an all-nighter. But yeah, I don't know. That's tough to tell. I like Jacoby Criswell a lot. He's going to these camps. He's doing what's asked of him. he's probably going to get a bump in ratings, possibly. But I like KJ Jefferson, guys. I really like KJ. I think this year he redshirts. He'll play just enough, and then he'll get redshirted. Did Garrett Hayes show up for the cookout? No, he is not going to make it. That was my next thing I was going to talk about. Garrett Hayes is not going to make it to the cookout. That is unfortunate. I'm sorry, my kids are like right on the other side of this door. Small, tiny room in here, and the walls are really thin. I apologize if you hear my dog or my kids. But yeah, Hayes will not be here this weekend. That is he's not going to another event. He's not going to another cookout or anything like that. It's something about work. I don't think it's a big deal. I just really wish they could have gotten him here to hang out with those other kids, these other possible Razorbacks. And I think there's several commits. Chandler Morris is obviously expected to be there. A couple other commits, they're supposed to be there. How many wins this season? Not there yet, Colt. I think you asked that last time we went live. You sneaky guy. I think that was you. Let's see. KJ is going to be a baller, in my opinion. Yeah, I think KJ. My question is, can he be patient? Because if Starkel ends up taking the year, which I think ends up happening, but man, there's a lot of people praising Ben Hicks. They really think he's going to be able to lead this offense. It's going to be hard for Starkel to take the job. But if Starkel, let's just say, because he's got 2 years to burn, unless Starkel goes out there and, I don't know, throws for 3,800 yards, 40 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and just does something crazy and then goes and decides he wants to get drafted, the question is going to be, can KJ Jefferson be patient? That's my question. What does he stick it out? And you know what happens if he transfers and he goes somewhere he doesn't like and he goes somewhere he doesn't fit in, then he kind of fades away. Everyone's like, see, told you he's a bust. He needs to be patient because it could take a couple of years before he takes the field. Or look, it's also possible next year he competes for the job with Starkel and Hicks, or excuse me, with Starkel and Chandler Morris when he gets on campus in 2020. What about the coach's son? Do you think he'll be great for Arkansas? Yeah. So talking about Chandler. So we have reached out and talked to some people about him in Texas. He gets a lot of praise. The guy that covers the state of Texas, what is it called? Steve Campbell's. They have their own Texas magazine. Well, that guy tweeted out talking about Chandler being just legit. He could play anywhere. He's that caliber quarterback. He could play anywhere and win anywhere. I think Chandler, the only knock is, how often do you see a quarterback sub 6 foot come in the SEC and do great? How often do you see it? It's not to say that it never happens. There's a point to be made there, but I think I wouldn't hold that against Chandler. That dude is a competitor. We talked with him a little bit when we had him on the podcast. He's a good kid, good head on his shoulders, and he wants to win. I'm going to tell you right now, Chandler wants to win. And I think he's got that, when you combine that with the knowledge of his dad's offense, he could be tough to beat out for the job down the road. But, you're talking about now crystal ball, like what happens down the road. Let's see. Well, I really need to get glasses. I say that every time we do this. Let's see. As many as we can, as many wins. Chandler, Big Man Ross says Chandler Morse will have to work hard to get the job, in my opinion. Yeah, they all will, really. They take whoever's going to win. That's what Chad Morse does. I don't think he plays favorites. I really don't. He's going to take whoever. Now you want to talk about, should he be recruiting Jacoby Criswell harder and bringing them both in? I don't know. And the question is, would Jacoby want to come in with him? But maybe I missed it. But any further word on Justice Hill? I don't know anything about Justice Hill. I saw that he posted something on Twitter. People coming at his family or something. I don't know what that was all about. But I don't know anything about Justice Hill. If anybody else knows, say something. If anybody else knows anything, say something. Because I don't know anything about Justice. I know that he wants to play, or he wanted to play football, but he doesn't want to play basketball for Eric Musselman. We need to win over A&M, Auburn, LSU, Missouri. So bad for recruiting. Now see, I yes and no. You need to win. You got to show that you've got a better product on the field, without a doubt. But and again, I agree with you, but I don't think you have to beat specific teams. I think as long as you show that you're improving, I think they need to be bowl eligible at the very least. So you need to win all 4 of your non-conference games. So you need to sneak out a couple of SEC wins. And you're going to tell me they can't do that against Ole Miss against Kentucky, against Missouri. I don't know what to think of Mississippi State this year. You're going to tell me you don't think they have a shot at two of those three? I think they can. But I think that's show that you're headed in the right direction. Now, if you blow the lid off the place, you come in, you win 8 games. I don't think that happens, but that would really benefit recruiting. I'm just so ready for a breakout season. You're going to be waiting a while, Colt. Just enjoy the ride. That's all I can tell you. I'm so ready for a breakout season. I'm sure we all, no matter what. I'm always proud to be a Hog fan. Right. Fishman says on paper the Hogs are so much better this year, but will it translate into wins? It's a good question. The talent's there. The question is, can they break through the ceiling, the freshman ceiling? Are they able to overcome what beats out freshmen? And at the end of the day, the reason why you don't see a lot of freshmen come in, can you beat out the guy in front of you? I don't think that's a real tall order. Let's be honest. The guys, the Brett Bielema era players. I'm not trying to downgrade anybody, I promise, but talent wise, they are improved. They're just younger. Will it translate into wins? That's a good question, Fish. What's the deal with Chase Hayden? Again, you've got me on that one. I don't know anything about Chase Hayden. I know he's dealt with some injuries. Again, fill me in. And make sure you reference what it is you're talking about when we play the guessing game. I'm not reading this until 10 minutes later, so try to fill me in a little more. But I don't know anything about Chase Hayden. I don't know what that's about. Paper and actually playing are way different for sure. Cole Smith says, what do you think about Jefferson's highlight reel? It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun highlight reel. I love his pocket awareness. The only thing, I'm not an expert, but I've watched a lot of film doing this. The one thing that does kind of drive me crazy is he hangs onto that ball way too long. And I don't know anything about the receivers that he played with. I don't know if they were maybe they were slow. He hangs onto the ball. He hesitates a little bit. He looks like he might need a little bit of work with as far as his arm mechanic, his arm talent. But overall, he has high talent. He's raw. And that's why I think he's going to play enough to get redshirted. Now, he could have worked on that during the offseason. I really wish he'd been here during the spring. I might be saying something a little bit different. Not much, but a little bit different had he been here during the spring. But I'm telling you, man, KJ Jefferson, if he's patient, if he's willing to learn, if he's willing to sit back, let the other guys do their thing, and be developed, be coached, KJ Jefferson could be something special. I really do think that. Now, he's got to be patient in the whole process. Don't force throws. Don't, learn to read coverage a little bit better. I wonder if that had something to do with why he was holding on to the ball so long. But I'm telling you guys, I'm a fan of KJ Jefferson. We need a bowl and a win over a solid team. What's your yes, fans for fans, yeah. Year to sneak some wins. I agree, Daniel. Chris Johnson says 6 wins is believable. 5 is acceptable. Okay, so we've read chat for a while now. I'm sorry. As far as I'll get back to chat, I promise. What else is there with the barbecue? So we covered the Memphis kids. Okay, I do believe we're on commit watch right now. There was some smoke that they could have a commit today, and I think that was Catrell Wallace. I'm almost positive Catrell Wallace. I'm not saying he's going to be the next commit, but I really like the odds of him committing this week. The Darren Turner. Now, this is a guy I can't believe people aren't asking more about. 4-star athlete / wide receiver. I've had multiple people hit me up about what's the deal. Is he really committing? I don't know what this is about. If something changed during his recruiting process, this is let me pull it up here. This is how tall was he? Yeah, 6'2.5". I had this conversation with someone a while back. They actually say he's probably closer to like 6'3.5". Excuse me, I just ate dinner. He's on 24/7 Sports. His composite, he's a 9'3" 4-star. Nationally ranked top. He's ranked 161. He's the 31st ranked overall wide receiver, and he's the 7th overall player in the state of Tennessee. Boy, I tell you what, Tennessee, we're sitting here talking about just kill it in the state of Texas. Go recruit Texas. Look at what they're doing in Tennessee. I don't know if Darren Turner, I don't know. This is news to me today that he really likes Arkansas. I knew that Arkansas had been someone he was very interested in, but I didn't realize how much he likes Arkansas. So I don't know. I'm not saying he commits, but I'm telling you, keep an eye on him. Again, he's a 4-star. I think he's going to play wide out. I think they offered him to play wide receiver. But and I think he's even I don't have it. I think he's even crystal balled at Arkansas right now. I mean, keep an eye on him. He could be this year's like Trey Knox in terms of, when you talk about relevance to the class and what Trey Knox was to that class and how highly ranked and how highly touted he was at the position. There you have Darren Turner. So I do think they end up getting at least 2 commits. I don't know if it's this weekend or following the cookout like it was last year, but I like the odds of getting at least 2 commits, maybe even next week or really soon. Supposedly there's a commit that's supposed to come in this next week or the first week of August rather. I don't have my calendar, but I had a really cool Star Wars calendar right here in front of me, and I haven't replaced it. New year, need to get a new calendar, and I keep looking around like it's going to pop up somewhere. But they're supposedly commit the first week of August. Now I don't know. I thought at first, well, maybe that was supposed to be French, but I'm still hearing that nope, wasn't French. So there's a possibility they could get another commit that has nothing to do with the barbecue at all. Someone else off to the side. I don't know. Go back to chat really quick. Let's see. 6 wins is believable. 5 is acceptable. 7 to 10 wins is incredible for where this team was a year ago. I couldn't agree more, Chris. Cole says, do you think Jefferson will... A lot of Cole Jefferson or KJ Jefferson questions. You guys are all about KJ. Obviously, I've been talking about him a lot. So you think Jefferson will be good at the option and in the pocket? I mean, he is dual threat. Maybe. I don't know. I think he's... one thing that stood out to me was he has really good pocket awareness. He has the ability to bounce out as soon as he gets pressured. He's good in the pocket. What film I've seen, again, he just hangs on to the ball way too long. And now there's some film where he gets the snap. As soon as he gets the snap, he's letting the ball go. And obviously that's probably by design. But when he's forced to go through his progressions, I just thought he hung onto the ball way too much, way too long. But again, he's got plenty of time to work on that. Let's see. I see a 7-win season with the schedule. Now, we'll get there. Chase has flashes his freshman year. What happened? Oh, that's a good question, Gregory. Okay, that's what you were talking about. So he got hurt. And then I don't know. I think he's had some trouble with hanging onto the ball a little bit. And he's just getting beat out. Duvall kind of had that moment last year where it looked like he was coming back. And then he got hurt. And then he had Rakeem Boyd, who came through last year. And so he's just kind of getting pushed around. I think I expect one of those guys to really stand out this year. I really like Rakeem Boyd, though. I mean, obviously. Yeah, injuries for Hayden. Yeah, that's exactly what was going on. Chase can't stay healthy. 5 wins, maybe 6. Extremely satisfied. Let's see. Turner, yeah, he did. That's another thing. He did decommit from LSU. That's right. He was committed to LSU. Pretty big blow to them. Their fans are pretty upset, and that should tell you plenty. A lot on Twitter when a guy decommits and then their Twitter just has a meltdown. And he was one of those guys where the LSU fans were not very – I mean, you're never pleased when you get a decommit. Arkansas fans are no different, really. But when he decommitted, yeah, I'm telling you guys, he's someone to keep an eye on. He's big time. I would argue – he's that level of receiver that it just seems like Arkansas has been able to attract. I mean, since Chad Morris took over anyways, he's big time and would probably be considered on paper in this class so far your best or second best on paper when you talk about star and rating and all that. He'd be your best or second best commit. I think Mike Woods will be our best wideout. I mean, he was in the system last year and he stood out at times. I like Mike Woods too. Boyd, I believe he could rush for 1,200 yards, Duvall for 1,000, and Chase for 700 if they all stay healthy. Brad says, I'm sorry, this is the downside of having to do this live and not have my glasses. I can hear my wife now on the other side of the wall. Told you. We may be much improved and still only win 5 games. Yeah, I agree. These freshmen are crazy talented, but to expect them to completely recharge the Hogs in one season isn't realistic. Brad, you are dead on. Couldn't agree more. You're asking way too much if you think freshmen are going to come in here and turn you around like that. Like it's not how it works. Not even at other bigger schools in the SEC or around the country in Power Fives. It's just unrealistic to ask true freshmen to come in. And I forgot the number. I think it was like 52 freshmen and redshirt freshmen on this roster. That's a lot of guys. That's a lot of your roster. And how many of those guys are going to have to come in and play and start and rotate? a lot of them. So it's unrealistic to believe that they're going to come in and just turn it around and all of a sudden they're looking at 8 or 9 wins. I just don't see that happening. I just don't. So if that's what you're looking for, and if you're looking for a year for the Razorbacks to come out and just do the unbelievable, you're probably going to be in for a little bit of a reality check. And I would recommend to every Hawk fan, I don't say this in videos, and maybe I should, just be along for the ride. That's all you can do right now. And that's all you should ever be. Just be along for the ride. Don't be an extreme fanatic like these people that curse at me on YouTube on the comment section. Then their comments get thrown into a filtered section, and then I've got to go through and I don't even read them anymore. But you just have to be realistic, and just be along for the ride. I'm still working on. I have my win-loss total. I have it. I just haven't made the video. And when it goes live, I mean, obviously, I'll let you guys know on social media. But it's just patience. It's all you can have. Let's see. Do you think Ty Story will destroy our secondary? I don't know, man. I like Curl. I like McClellan. I like Devin Bush. I like what they've done in the secondary in terms of where they were at versus where they've been a year ago. I think they're going to improve. Well, I like what they've done talent-wise. I'm not saying on the field what they've done and comparing one year to the other, but they're better. I think better talent. I think they've got it. I like Fouché. Like I said, Devin Bush. I think they're as good as they've been. The question is, can they perform? Can they get it done on the field? Yeah, Ty Story doesn't worry me, but at Western Kentucky. But he does know the defense after all. So Rakeem the Dream Boy. That's right. Who is Ty Story? Azazian, how you doing, buddy? At some point next year, we could have as many as 6 4-star receivers rotating on the field. That's oozing with crazy ESPN potential highlights weekly. Yeah, they are killing it at the wide receiver position. And it's interesting to me that no one has really been talking about Darren Turner. And I get it because up until today, well, maybe I had someone had mentioned him yesterday to me in one of my text groups. And I said, well, yeah, but Arkansas is considered kind of a long shot. And then after that, it was ... Is he? So I don't all of a sudden this is turned around. I'm telling you, Darren Turner he's what, like I said, he's like what Trey Knox was to last year's class. And you're doing it again in Tennessee. It's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, you need years to develop. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I mean, year or two, some players faster than others. Let's see. I curse with love. That's just man. I love watching Last Chance U. Seeing a guy Razorbacks gear, even a Red Wolf sighting. Yeah, unfortunately, you're talking about what's his name, Bobby Bruce, and of course he's in Razorback shorts, playing terribly, by the way, at pool. He's wearing Razorback shorts after getting cut, after that embarrassing little piece. What happened and all the supposedly someone stole money and he kind of got the blame for it, and then he's wearing Razorback shorts. After getting cut, and I'm like, yeah, hog's gonna hog, I guess. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's never been at Arkansas. It's just funny that there's the Razorback shorts. The only time, by the way, that I saw, other than when they did the callback to the players from a year ago, it was the only player at any point, I believe, where anyone's wearing any Razorback gear after they cut him. Just FYI. Oh, I hope I didn't spoil that. Oh man, I'm sorry. I hate to do that. I'm so sorry if you haven't watched Last Chance U, but I don't think that's hard to imagine Bobby Bruce getting cut, but let's see. Oh, yeah, KD for Arkansas State. Love Last Chance U. Ty Story is such a joke. We will have 4 picks from Ty Story. Dang, Bobby Bruce. I'm so sorry if I spoiled that. That is my bad. I'm the one getting on to people on social media for not doing that. Here I am doing it. Dang, I missed that. I got to go back and watch that. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Bobby Bruce just couldn't stay out of trouble. Last Chance U, that last season was really good. But for me, nothing cuts like season 1. Season 1 was the best. And season 1 and season 3, the intro to the new coaches, right? Their first seasons are always the best. But, yeah, that If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. The Bobby Bruce isn't the big news, I don't think. And I'll be real with you. I hope the best for the kid. I absolutely do. These kids going through JUCO. Most of the times they're there for a reason. They have trouble at home and in their community, and I hope nothing but the best. But I just got kind of tired of the Bobby Bruce story there for a little bit. And I'm, again, not trying to be mean or anything. I just got kind of tired of the story. It seemed like they focused so much on his story. I'm so much more interested in what's going on with that, with what happens. I'm not giving it away, but with what happens in regards to the season and the head coach and everything. I was just like, enough. We get it. Bobby Brown's struggling. Let's pan over. Season 1, 2, 3, 4 is my order. Season 1 was so good. Oh my gosh, season 1 is so good. I'm gonna go back and rewatch that. But one thing they don't give credit to these coaches, one of them wins or did win. Cole Kelly went to be a water boy. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. The past season was the best. Okay. Well, I think we're caught up on chat. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to, with what knowledge I have on what's going on so far in regards to the cookout, I'll try to answer them the best I can. Wow, we've been live for 41 minutes. Okay. Well, if you guys have any questions or anything, I'll try to answer them. Yeah, so I expect at least definitely expect at least a commitment or two. Again, Hayes will not be here, and the Memphis Three will not be here. If you guys missed the first part of the segment here, it is unfortunate. I was really hoping Hayes would come in. So Hayes just can't make it because of work, but A&M is on him big time. A&M is all over Hayes, Garrett Hayes, the 4-star tackle out of Texas. So, and he's a must-get. He's a must-get. I know they got Tykes Crawford, big-time tackle, but they need to keep piling on the talent. Was the cookout not tonight? So I think the cookout is tonight, and I think they have the cookout tonight, and I think maybe they do something tomorrow, and then they go home. So I'm not entirely sure. Let me get a drink of my water, because this is definitely water that I'm drinking off camera. That was definitely water. Good old brewed water. Well, I don't have to go watch it. Oh, come on. There's so much more going on. Water is good. So yeah, I guess that's going to do it. I'll have a reaction video to if anything does happen, I'll try to have something out by Monday or Tuesday, depending on if there's any news. I think there will be. I think there's going to be plenty to talk about. The Hog Talk podcast with myself and Jacob Scott Davis, who, by the way, is on Rivals now. He works alongside Nikki Chavanel. I think he gets about 2 stories out a week. The guy is pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. I like Jacob a lot. He's a good dude. Works really hard. I'm a fan of his, what he's been able to do. In the Hog Talk podcast, him and I came together and built this thing from the ground up, and it's blowing up on social media. And thanks to you guys, we're over, what do you say, 2,500 total downloads. So we'll take that. I mean, that's incredible. So we'll try to get everyone caught up there. And that link is down below in the description box if you want to go check out the past podcast. Like I said, the last week's show, we had Drew Morgan on, and that was a lot of fun. Share some of that. I'll just say that it is pineapple, and this water was brewed in Springdale, Arkansas, right there on Emma Street. It's called, I'm going to give them a shout out, Black Apple. If you've never been there, Black Apple on Emma Street, their water is very good. I can't wait for the next video, says Big Man Ross, and I will meet you one day. Okay, have a good night. Love your live chats and all your videos. Hey, I appreciate that, Ross. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Blake, good show, Ty. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Blake. I appreciate it. Let's see. Brad says, with lack of depth at linebacker, I'd like to see Morris give Traylon Burks a shot at linebacker, outside linebacker. Anything's possible. He's an athlete. Traylon Burks can play multiple positions. Let's see. We've got you guys in Razorback Sports Talk. Okay, awesome. I think you're saying you watch our podcast, Corey? I'm not sure. Azazian of Absurdity says, great podcast, by the way. I picked you guys up on the podcast. I'm a podcast addict. So is my wife now. She listens to these true crime podcasts. And I'm like, if I ever listen to anything, it's Joe Rogan on YouTube. And then maybe once in a while, I don't really watch. I used to listen to a lot more podcasts, but these days it's mostly just like Joe Rogan on YouTube and, some political stuff here and there. All my sports I usually get on YouTube too. If it's not something that Twitter is like the answer to everything. If you need an update on sports, like I don't even keep up with the Cardinals. The Cardinals I keep up with on Twitter too. It's crazy because I can't watch them live all the time. So Twitter is a great place to be if you guys aren't there. I mean, aside from the absurdity, there is a lot of nonsense on Twitter too. Been there. Best water. It is great water, isn't it, Blake? Great video. This water's for you. Go Hogs. Dwight, thanks for stopping by, man. It's good seeing you if you're still in here. Go Hogs, Denver Broncos. JRE is the best podcast out there. I love Joe Rogan Experience, man. I love Joe Rogan a lot. Yeah, I'm not going to get political here, but I'm pretty, yeah. Is there any way to see Jacob's stories on 24/7? No, it's on, no. 24/7 is its own entity. I think they're CBS who owns them? They're a different entity. They're a different site. That's Trey Biddy and Danny West. And then on Rivals, you have, which is hogbeat.com. It's Nikki Chavanel. Oh, gosh. Nikki Chavanel, and I forgot the other guy's name. And then there's Jacob Scott Davis. So he and I have our show together. Very, very, very knowledgeable dude. I'm going to tell you something. Like, if I don't know something, he knows it. And odds are he probably knows way more than I do. He and I, we bounce. We also use Marco Polo a lot. And actually, I was going to do this really quick. Check this out. So if you guys have never heard of Marco Polo, that's the avatar there on the bottom. This video is going to be taken down. So we're going to Marco Polo Jacob together. You guys ready for this? You want to do this? There's only like 30 of you in here. So there's Jacob Scott Davis up top. You see his hog talk. You ready for this? Let's see if all right. How do we do this? Hey, Jacob, you're live right now with everybody on. Everyone wants to say hi. We use this a lot. So it was pretty good tonight, Jacob. It was a good show. We talked about you. We bragged about the podcast. If you guys don't use Marco Polo, it's really cool. I Marco Polo with my wife quite a bit. There, we all Marco Polo Jacob together. Yay! We did something together as a group. Just messing with you, bro. Oh, I know, crazy. Major Kissoff, howdy. What are your thoughts on Arkansas in the SW versus in the Southwest Conference? You asked me that when I'm about to log off. That's a whole show, man. That's a whole show. I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now. That's another time. The Azazian says, I spend so much time on the road, the podcast. Yeah, so they're really handy. Yeah, you're right. If you're on the road, you can't do that with YouTube because if you're driving down the road and YouTube, how your phone just naturally turns itself off after like however long without you touching it. The YouTube video goes off. With podcast doesn't do that, just like Apple Music. So you're able to, let's see. Corey says Jacob is in our group, Razorback Sports Talk. He shares Hawk Talk. Brings good content. Yeah, he does. I'm telling you guys, I like Jacob a lot, and he's a hustler too, man. Danny West has me blocked on Twitter for no reason. Oh, now Justin, there's got to be a reason, man. Hey Jacob, big man. Oh, you were talking to him that's the one crappy thing about the delay. In the water? ? Marco Polo. And Texas destroyed the Southwest Conference, says Gregory. So yeah, they did. That was unfortunate. Well, that's gonna do it. My chair is acting up. That's going to do it. You guys remember to like, comment, share the content. This was fun. I'm trying to do this more often. Unfortunately, I just never know when I can. That's why there's no announcement. I was really surprised. We had 60 people in here at one point tonight. That's a big deal. It's cool. That's a high. So, got any tips for getting into sports media? Well, it's hard work. If you're not connected and if you don't have some sort of broadcast journalism degree or some sort of journalism degree at all to fall back on, it's hard. It's really hard. You just have to start yourself up. That's what I've done. It's taken me 3 years to even get to this point, and it's hard work. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a lot of work. Just be prepared to be called names when you want someone to be changed at a certain a certain head coach with the basketball program, you're going to get called names. You're going to get called also. You just got to have thick skin and have fun with it. So, well, if you can't stay, what good are you? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Do you have a degree, Ty? No, I do not. I went to Fayetteville High. I was kind of raised. My mom and dad didn't have high school degrees. They worked in machine shops. My mom actually passed away when I was 8, but if she were still alive, she probably would have retired in a machine shop. And that's my family. That's our background, working in machine shops. And that's kind of what I was raised to believe. And now I just turned 36. I'm like, I want to be in radio. I want to talk sports. So I got your back. I know you do, Ross. All right, that's it. You too. Thank you guys so much. Have a good weekend. I will see you guys next week. If there's any updates, I'll let you know. Obviously, you can follow me on Twitter at Tyzilla83. Like the comment, share, and hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already. You guys have a good night. Go Hogs.